Welcome to Transforming the Toddler Years, the podcast for conscious parents, caregivers, and educators who believe tantrums aren't terrible. They are powerful opportunities for connection, growth, and learning during the first 5 years. You'll explore how to use intentional language to raise calm, confident, and deeply connected kids, because the way we talk to kids becomes how they see themselves and engage with the world. Hi, I'm your host, Cara Terrell, classroom teacher turned parent educator and teacher trainer. Are you ready to nurture your children's mind, body, and spirit? Welcome, Toddler Tribe. Let's transform the toddler years together. Hey, Toddler Tribe. It's summer 2026, and with so many new listeners here at the Transforming the Toddler Years show, thank you, by the way, for subscribing, following, and listening. We love growing with you. I decided it would be a great opportunity to re-release a mini-series from last fall. It's called The 4 C's of Collaborative Discipline, and over 5 weeks, I share with you the core methodology, the foundation of what we believe here at Core 4 Parenting, and the way that we work intentionally by using our words to connect deeply with our kids, to communicate effectively, and to allow them to have a voice in our home, even if we don't agree. That's our core belief, and I am so excited to reshare this series with you. So if you heard it in the past, listen again, because it's very likely that with your kids at a different age and a different stage, you are going to catch different things. And if this is your first time listening, then welcome, lean in, and be sure to rate and review the show and tell us what you're learning. Welcome back, Toddler Tribe, to our little mini-series that we have here on the 4 C's of Collaborative Discipline. And today we are on the second C, which is communication. And so if you haven't listened to the overview episode and episode 1, where we talked deeply about the art of connection, then you want to go back and catch yourself up, because this is going to take us to the next step. All right. So in our example that we are dissecting, Davy is this older kid. He's 6.5 years old, and he wants to go ride his dirt bike first thing in the morning. Yes, you're with me because you've listened to the other two. And I connected deeply with him, right? I set that relationship stage early in his infancy and toddler years. And so that connection exists. But that's not always enough, especially in moments where a child is feeling so incredibly determined to go do something. So I said his name. Davy, listen to the tone in my voice, right? That is a, whoa, slow your body. My first act of communication was to say his name. Does it work? Not entirely. Kept him from running out the door? Yes. Awesome. It's a win. Now the next step matters. My next communication strategy has to be built in connection. And that's the energy that I bring to the conversation. Simply staying in the kitchen and continuing to say his name repeatedly was not going to work. In fact, it would alienate him and he would run. I had to stop what I'm doing, move my body to his slowly. This matters. If I stop what I'm doing, I huff and puff with a deep sigh and a cranky voice and stomping feet, and I move quickly to him. What's the energy that I'm bringing to the connection? It's not great. It's going to set him off. It's going to trigger him even more to be afraid that I'm going to say no and just go. We don't want that. So I have to be very intentional. So I stayed calm in my body. I kept my body position. We talked about this in the last episode, right? I kept my face in a neutral communication mode. I didn't show joy. I didn't show upsetness. I kept my body open, my hands open, and I walked my feet slowly towards him, and he was next to the door, as I said those 4 intentional words. Yes, but not yet. Okay. I told you that in the very beginning in the overview, so let's dissect it now. Why did I choose those words? If the answer is ultimately no in that moment, then why did I say yes? Ooh, that's a head scratcher. Okay, here's a foundational truth about the human experience. We all want to hear yes. Yes is a word of connection. Yes gives us a dopamine hit. It fuels our body with hope and possibility. It makes us feel good. And often it makes us feel right. And don't we all want to feel that? When somebody says to you, yes, you're right. Yes, I agree with you. How do you feel? Want to have more conversation with that person? I know I do. When they shoot me down and say, no, you're wrong. No, I know what's right, and it's not what you're thinking. I am cut off. I am uninterested in pursuing any type of conversation with that person. And this is step 2. Communication. Using our words to have a conversation. Specifically in this step, when we think about this C, it very often is using our words to set a boundary. And that's what I did with my very short, under 6 words. Did you catch it? 4-word sentence. Yes, but not now. Okay, so yes is our connector word. We're going to lean into that, quickly followed by the negative but, so that we don't give the misimpression that the answer is just yes. Now, if you have a speed demon, like he is, who can move his body at lightning pace, then you've got to get that but in there pretty quickly. Yes, but. Yes, but. Yes, but not now. Here the not. The no is built into it. But because it comes later in the delivery of the sentence, it doesn't feel like a knife to the heart. It doesn't feel like the negation that kids hear when we run around saying no all day long. It doesn't feel like an immediate act of, she's never going to let me do what I want to do. Yet, there's that other word of hope and possibility that this will happen. Okay, now that we broke down the linguistics of it, yes, but not yet. I told you in my overview that he still wasn't, he didn't go, okay, and toddle off. He was mad. He had some real frustrated feelings about the fact that I was saying it wasn't happening right in that moment. And you know what he did? He came back at me with other words. Yeah, well, Daddy lets me. And you know what I said to him? I believe you. Because it's true. And it is great that Daddy lets him. They have a relationship that's built on that ability. And like I said in my other episode, I don't understand the machine. If something went wrong, I wouldn't know what to do, right? So this for me was a safety issue. I said, I believe you. When Daddy is here, yes, you can absolutely ride that bike. But Daddy's not going to be here all day. Yes, that's true. Next words out of my mouth. Hear how intentional I'm being about communication. Yes, that's true. Daddy's not going to be here all day. But that means I'm going to have to wait all day long. Yes, that's also true. You will have to wait all day long. Okay, that did not land very well at all. But notice that I told him the truth. In moments like that, it is essential that you go back to those core 4 connectors that we talked about in the connection episode. I tell kids the truth even when they don't want to hear it. I am honest with them, even when they're going to get frustrated with it. You continue to build the relationship by doing that. You show yourself as trustworthy, honorable, and respectful. But then the possibility is that they are going to react, of course. And he did. He reacted by then opening the door and running out to where the bike is. I followed, slowly, not panicking. I didn't say a word. I wasn't, hey, stop, wait a minute, what did I just say to you? None of that nonsense. Nope, just moved my body to where his body now was, which was standing next to the dirt bike. What I said next mattered the most. What would you say? You've been honest. You've been respectful. You've said all of those words that keep you connected, keep him attending and giving you his attention so that this conversation can keep going. And finally, he kind of broke and ran. What would you do next? What would you say? In the book, I talk a lot about the difference between an imperative statement and a declarative statement. I'm not going to go deep into that right now, but listen to the words that come out of my mouth as I'm standing next to him and he's standing next to his dirt bike. You opened the door and left the house. You ran to your dirt bike. How does that feel? It's irrefutable. He is emotionally triggered. He's turned on, if you will, and primed to have a meltdown and yell at me. Primed. Anything that I say that fuels his emotions, anything that is steeped in anger or judgment or wrongness, he's going to blow. But if I just say exactly what just happened, like what my eyes saw happen, it's irrefutable. You opened the door and you ran to your bike. What can he say to me except, yeah, I did? Which is exactly what he said, followed by this. I just want you to see it. Okay. Now, have I seen the bike before? Of course I have. I saw it when it was given to him for his birthday. I oohed and awed about it then. I've seen it other times when I've been over there, oohed and awed about it then. So my human knee-jerk verbal reaction could be, well, I've already seen your bike. Is that helpful? No. My job is to manage my words so that I'm not feeding his current level of emotion. Okay? I just wanted you to see it. What would you say next? I said, this is an amazing bike. Thanks for showing it to me. I hope that you can feel that the back and the forth of this conversation, that he and I are on 2 different levels of regulation. His emotional regulation is wobbly at best in this moment, and it would take very little to send him into the red zone where he just falls completely apart, and we have to go all the way through the meltdown cycle to come back to center. Whereas I am sitting squarely in the green zone, using my frontal lobe, thinking about what comes out of my mouth, controlling my physical energy and showing up in that oppositional state of being, which is a good thing, right? He's near the bottom of that emotional regulation pendulum, and I'm up at the top. And the more I stay there and model, the more he moves to meet me there. And my words are doing the work. So we did a bunch of that, back and forth, back and forth. He would he'd poke with his words and his tone and his energy and his body language and all the things. He would poke, and I would not take the poke. Let my words just reflect back until I could see physically that his energy was starting to settle. That's when the gateway to the next C in the system works. You cannot collaborate with a child until they're ready for it. And there is no collaboration available to you when they are in a red potential meltdown zone or melting down. And it's not real likely that when they are in a highly emotional blue state, you are going to be able to have effective collaboration with them either. So your job is to re-regulate, right? We call it co-regulate, to be the energy that you need them to come back to share the words that make them feel heard and seen and loved and understood and believed so that they can meet you there. This is one of my favorite series that we've ever done together. And I just hope you're getting so much value out of it. And I hope that you downloaded the free PDF of the 4 C's of collaborative discipline, and you have that in front of you as you're listening, or at least kind of like in your brain. If that you printed it, that you put it up somewhere to remind yourself where we're headed. And maybe you've even went and bought the mini course, and you have a personalized mission statement that you've crafted and honed, and you're leaning into that. And that would just make me so happy as well. So if you haven't done either one of those things, start in the beginning. Just take this step by step, because this is your journey and the transformation happens on your timeline. All right. Both of those links will be in the show notes, and I look forward to our next episode together, where we're going to talk about the collaboration. So until that next episode, Toddler Tribe, you know what to do. Stay mindful and proactive as we transform the toddler years.